Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Build Show. I'm John Peitzman, JP, certified high-performance coach and creator of the Build Framework. I work with individuals and teams all over the world to help them thrive in their personal and professional lives. And as your host on this show, our aim is to help transform lives one guest at a time. And how do we do that? We do that by having amazing guests. And today is no different. We have with us Samantha Skelly. Samantha Skelly has spent the last decade of her career revolutionizing personal and spiritual development industries. She has appeared on networks and in publications worldwide and has shared her message on over 400 stages. Samantha is a Hay House author, and her book, Hungry for Happiness, Stop Emotional Eating and Start Loving Yourself, has been a game changer in the diet industry. Samantha is known as the Queen of Breathwork, as she has a strong mission to make the power of breathwork mainstream to reduce human suffering and raise human consciousness and potential. She is also the CEO and founder of two seven-figure wellness brands, Hungry for Happiness and Pause Breathwork. It is my absolute privilege and honor to welcome her to our show today, joining us via video technology from California in the United States of America. Samantha, Sam, welcome to The Build Show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to dive in with you. Let's go.
Let's dive in. Let's do this. So, what are you most excited about other than diving into this right now? What else are you excited about, in your life, in your career, in your journey of this thing that we're on called life right now?
Well, in this very, very moment, I'm super excited because we're on this beautiful lake with our leadership team at Pause, our breathwork company, and just really talking about how we are going to bring breathwork into millions of people's lives, and that just feels so expansive and so exciting. And yeah, what I feel so lit up by is the constant opportunity to evolve and shift and become the type of leader that I'm committed to being. And what's so fascinating is when we use breathwork and we really release who we think we are, we end up finding these deeper states of who we actually are. And that journey for me feels so exciting day after day.
Yes. Oh, and that's amazing. I'm excited to cross the ocean just talking to you right now. I can feel it. It's contagious. And let's dive right in. So we'll dive in. I love having the conversation with successful people because, everyone's story is unique, right? And everyone has such amazing insights and inspirations to share in each of these areas. So let's go through it. Now, for those of you who need a reminder about what BUILD is all about, it's an acronym. It stands for Build Relationships, Understand the Business, Implement Strategies, Lead and Inspire, and Deliver Excellence. And if we look at those areas in your life and your journey, Sam, I would love to hear what you have to share. And let's just start with B, build relationships. I mean, what are some of the pivotal relationships that you've had on your journey, and what would you like to share with our listeners about the category of build relationships?
This is a huge one. I feel like the growth of any entrepreneur or leader comes down to their ability to establish, nurture, and attune to really powerful relationships. And that the first one, of course, is the relationship with the self. I think, building businesses and building something that, where you employ people and you have thousands of clients, every single relationship matters so much. And our ability to cultivate, to nurture relationships externally really truly comes down to how much do we actually like ourselves? How much time are we spending every single day building the relationship with the one person that we're with constantly, which is of course ourselves. And oftentimes we can be so externally focused of, I have to do this and do this and do this and get here and go here. And there's always this when-then game, when this happens, then I'll do this. And oftentimes it's truly at the sacrifice of the relationship to ourselves. So I think that is the most important thing ever. And then relationships just in general, truly learning the art of relationships is one of the most valuable things that we can do. I don't know why we learned, how to find the X in math class and no one taught us how to be in truly healthy dynamics. And when we look into our upbringing and our conditioning, not everyone had mirrors of really healthy relationships. And so for most people, we're kind of walking around the planet and wondering like what's healthy love and connection versus like toxic love and connection, and really being able to like discern the difference between that and choose powerful healthy connections is one of the most, was the greatest expander. And then relationships as far as mentors and consultants and advisors and things of that nature is also really powerful. It's like, I truly believe that the source of our happiness comes down to the quality of our relationships. And so when we can really master that, I believe that people are going to be so much happier.
That's amazing. And what would you say is one of the most pivotal relationships you've had?
So can I share two of them?
Yes, of course.
Because I feel like there's two different sides that I'd love to share. So I had a mentor when I first started my journey who continues to be my mentor to this day. And what I love about that relationship is him and I constantly like grow and evolve together. Him and I are constantly, so it's a relationship built in a lot of trust that allows me to see my potential. He communicates my potential before I can actually see it. He raises the bar before I even know there's another bar. And that's really been it's widened my horizons of potentiality of like what's actually possible for myself, what's really possible for my company, what's really possible for my clients, my employees, my team. Like he just constantly raises that bar. So that relationship for me, it has just been amazing. Now, the other relationship I want to communicate was a relationship that was the hardest, most traumatic time of my life when I had somebody in my company who just really wasn't aligned with our mission, and it just was very self-serving, and there was a lot of like toxicity in this relationship. But I learned so much about setting boundaries. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about what I tolerate and what I don't tolerate. I learned so much about just my intuition of like, I knew this was off from the beginning, but I kept pushing it because she was so smart. And so that's a relationship that was like really challenging. But then in the end, I'm like, I'm so grateful for that experience because it really taught me what to look out for.
Yes, no, I love that. And I love how you gave the yin and the yang and both sides, because it's so true that we can benefit absolutely, and everyone usually gets that from great relationships, but people don't really sometimes take the great lessons, and sometimes they're even more profound and more impactful, right, and more life-changing from those relationships that are, like you said, toxic or, not so good, let's just say, right?
Not so good.
Not so good. We'll just leave it at that. But because that's where the true lessons are, right? So that's amazing. So that leads into you. So understand the business, right? So what would you like to share with the listeners today about understanding the business and how you go about that and how, they could go about that in their lives?
I love this question. What is the job that your product is doing for your client? Right? Like they are buying with their money for a solution. And like, what is the solution to that? Like, what are they hiring you for? And how can you be when I use the word best, I don't mean, it's like, how can you stand out? How can you be world-class? How can you offer a service that people are like, I am so grateful. I'm so happy that I invested in this company and this offer and this thing because it blew me out of the water, right? So I think that's one of the biggest things is really understanding that the gap that you're filling for your ideal client. The other thing, and this, JP, has been one of my biggest and continues to be one of my biggest lessons in understanding my business is not giving in to seductive distractions.
I love that term, seductive distractions. Very, very profound.
Business can be so seductive, and there's so many shiny balls. Like every day there's new opportunities. Every day there's like, Sam, let's go and do this and let's create this and we can make money doing this way. And the truth is, the more my business is boring, the more successful it is. So focusing on like, what are we here to do? I am so clear. We are here to be the most impactful breathwork company in the world. I want everyone who interacts with myself or the brand to do a breathwork experience on our app and for them to change their life. Like that is what we are here to do. We're here to just get people to breathe. We're not here to teach all of these other like sub things that are kind of sort of related, but not really. We're not here to do that. We're here to teach the world to breathe. We're here to teach people how to use their breath to clear anxiety and stress in less than 5 minutes. Like, it's simple. That is what we're here to do. And when we are the best in the world at that, that's when things really begin to scale. That's when things really begin to grow. And I think so often, I'll speak for myself in this, is staying focused is really challenging, especially for me. I've got ADHD. I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. I love chasing shiny balls. I really value variety. I really value uncertainty. Like, I have an adventurous soul. I'm just that type of person. And so staying like laser focused on the one thing is definitely my biggest growth edge, but it is proven to be time over time over time the greatest thing that's liberated myself and my company, Pause Breathwork.
Right. And that's because you have the foundation, like you say. When you have a solid, clear foundation of what it is you actually do and you're not distracted by that, then it's not that other things won't come. They will, but they're built upon that solid foundation, right? And they're not distracting you from that solid foundation. And they help to support that foundation, right? They're not a distraction, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But when entrepreneurs start creating things when there isn't a solid foundation of predictable results, that's when businesses truly fail. Because then we're trying to manage all of these different things. It's like, just go with the one thing. There's a book called The One Thing. And I read this book like at least once a year to remind me, like, this is my North Star. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. And in that one thing, there can be creativity and excitement in that one thing, but we're not going out here for it. It's the one thing, right? I guess it's like marriage. I'm not married, but it's like, okay, you're just picking like the one thing and you're going hard on the one thing.
And it's not to take out the trash. That's right. That's the one thing. It's the only thing. Take out the frickin' trash now. But I love, too, how your one thing, I mean, go figure, is the one thing everyone on this planet needs to survive.
Yeah.
Breathe, right? I mean, if you don't, you die, right? So what better one thing to have than that, right?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah, well, I concur, because without it, none of us are alive. So that segues right into maybe something you want to talk about, which is a strategy to implement. So I obviously is implement strategies, right? What do you have to say about the importance of, and your experience in, like, implementing strategies and getting things done?
So simplicity in strategy is the way to scalable results. Like, how can we have a system that is just so simple that all we're doing is optimizing this one thing, again, going down to the one thing, versus trying to do all of the things and getting mediocre results, right? So when it comes to strategy, like, for us, we have a live event that we do every single week. And in that live event, we are teaching breathwork. We're teaching people how to teach breathwork because we have a facilitator program as well. And so that is where all the roads are leading to. So that's our strategy for how we acquire new business and new clients. And so in that, we know our numbers, we know our data. And so we can just constantly update, optimize, change out copy, figure out how we can like slowly turn those levers, but we're not trying to do a million things in order to get our goal. The question that I always ask myself is, what is the fastest and most direct path to my goal, right? What is the fastest and most direct path to my goal? So that's what I'll say from like a strategy, sort of like more logical, rational point of view. But this might be a little bit different, but my framework and my mindset on business is always prioritizing energy over strategy. Always prioritizing energy over strategy. So you can have the greatest strategy in the entire world, but if you are not energetically aligned to where you're going, and you are not holding the vision of where you're going in advance, and there's some part of you that doesn't believe it can even work or whatever it is, if that is happening in your energy, that's going to impact your business. And so I see this happen with many, many, many entrepreneurs where they got a kick-ass product, they got great strategy, but they themselves are not an embodiment of the mission of where they're going. And they're like, why is this not working? So every day I am always bringing myself to like that 3-year plan of like, okay, it's June 16th, whatever, 2024, whatever it is. And here's where we're at. how can I borrow energy from the future to fuel myself today, to help inform my decisions, to help me stay motivated, to help me stay on pace, even when things are feeling like they're falling apart, right? Sometimes when like there's, you know, 6 or 7 fires that you need to put out a day, you're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is so intense. But if we can borrow the energetics from the future to be like, this is where I'm going, and actually all of this stuff is just preparing me, giving
Right.
me the strength, it's giving me resistance so I can build the strength in order to hold more in the future. Like that is one of the most important things. And I would say that is more important than any sort of strategy, tactic thing that you can do. Strategy is important, but not before energy.
Right, love that. And that segues nicely into L, lead and inspire too, because I would imagine that if you propagate that forward and say, okay, energy is more important than strategy, energy is probably more important than, I don't know, credentials or even work product, or in your scenario where maybe you learned that lesson from that relationship that wasn't the best, the energy probably wasn't right. That's why you felt it, right? So would you also concur that, in your team and everything, I'm not saying the energy is bad, let everyone go, right? You can change the energy, you can shift it, but you probably shouldn't be sitting in an energetic contraction when you can change that to an opening potential, right? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing is as leaders, we have so much capacity to not control what's happening, but to influence through our energetics. And when we learn that, and like if we look at leadership, right? Everyone wants to be a leader, but there's very few people who can actually handle being a leader.
Right.
And I've seen this over and over and over and over again. It's like, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader. Okay, well, are you willing to endure what it takes in order to grow yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in order to actually be a leader? Because there's like I often say, like, my life feels like a full-time wedgie. Like there's always parts that feel a little bit like, oh, this kind of hurts, right? It's a little bit, it hurts a little bit. But it's because I choose to be on the edge of expansion constantly, because I know that's the way that I'm going to grow. And I know the mission of Pause, my company, is it's like we want to take over the world with breath work. And so there's an energy to the company that always wants to expand, which means if I am the one to lead it, I have to constantly expand with it. And that means I have to face all of my limitations about what's possible for me and my worth and my capability and am I smart enough? Am I this enough? I have to release all of my perceived limitations around like self-worth. Am I the one? Do I deserve this? Should I do this? All of that stuff. And many people are not willing to face themselves like that. But if you are designed to be a leader and we need more leaders in this world. And so it's some of the most important work that we can do, right? It's one thing to be a leader of others, but it's so much more important to be a leader of yourself. Yes. I lead myself first before I will lead anyone else, because that's out of integrity, right? Leading myself to my greatness first truly does help other people inspire and to lead themselves, to grow themselves. So yeah.
Yes. Well, it's an energetic thing too, right? Because you have to role model the way. You can't fake it, right? Because that's an energetic thing, right? And that's not true leadership. So true leadership is from the heart, and it is being, everything that you dream to be, and then stepping into it each and every day. And then others, to your point, will follow because they feel it, right? It's an energetic thing.
Yeah, and like our bodies are constantly picking up information that our minds can't. And so right now I am giving off an energetic vibration that your sort of like animal body is receiving, and our animal bodies are communicating, right? Our minds are doing one thing, our animal bodies are doing another. So when it comes to leadership, we can be saying the right thing, but if we're not, to your point, open-hearted, genuine, empathetic, there's no way we can lead that other person, because their defenses are going to be up. So the most powerful leaders in the world, in my opinion, are the most heart-centered, the most heart-opening. But as a leader, that can be very, very vulnerable as well, right? A lot of times people are like, oh, but I've been hurt. And so we close down, we close our hearts. So one of the most courageous things that we can do is keep our heart open even when we've been hurt. And I truly believe like that's the fabric of a really genuine and powerful leader. And that's the type of leadership we need right now in the world.
Absolutely. And by the way, I mean, it's non-local phenomenon, actually, because I feel your energy from across the world, across the ocean, literally California, United States, Sydney, Australia, and I can feel it, right? And I know that everyone watching this show, I mean, just feel what you're feeling in this and realize that it's not about even in the room, you say, oh yeah, I feel them when they walk in the room. And by the way, that's true, right? That's an energetic thing. But you don't have to be in the room, right? I mean, look at Sam right now. I mean, feel this and feel the energy and feel the inspiration that you have, which leads then from leading and inspiring to D, deliver excellence, right? Where it all comes together in the heart, right? So what do you have to say about maybe what excellence even is for you and how you can help to deliver excellence and inspire others to do so each and every day?
Oh, this is such a good question. So one of our values at Pause is world-class experiences. I want people to feel like our company feels like Disneyland. Do you guys have Disneyland in Australia?
Actually, not in Australia, but everyone knows about it. I think the nearest one is in Paris, France. There's a Disneyland there. It's smaller than the one there, but yeah. Yeah, everyone knows what it is. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool. So it's like, how can we create those Disney experiences where people are like, I cannot believe they thought about that, you know?
Like the Peter Pan ride, I still remember as a kid. You get on it and the thing takes off and you're literally flying and you're inside and it's like, it's magical, right? Even as an adult, you know, well, how they did it, but it's like you feel it.
Yeah, and that is Disney's brand promise, is like, we create magical experiences. That's literally their brand promise.
Right.
And so at Pause, like the view that I'm always creating things from is like, I want people to say to themselves, I can't believe they thought about that. Right? So the intricacies of like how people receive a physical product once they download our app or when they enroll in our facilitator training, like the swag that they get, or like the phone call that they get just because they joined our community. It's like human connection, human, like high touch boutique experiences is really, really important to me. And so one of our leading edges, I believe, is we just care more. Like if we can out care anyone else, we're gonna win, because people can feel that. They're like, oh, Pause actually cares about us. Like, we're not just a customer, we're not just a app subscriber, we're not just a student in their facilitator training. They truly care that we are a part of it. And you know, it's like the energy of the heart, you cannot manufacture that. I don't care how good your digital marketing is or how well your webinar converts or whatever it is. Like, I believe that delivering excellence always comes down to the connection and the attunement and the love that you have for the client. And not just the client, the perspective, the potential clients, right? So it's like, how do we treat people on Instagram? How do we treat people like on our mailing list who've never bought anything from us? Like, how can we create this culture of connection and love before we even exchange money with them? And that for me feels just like so exciting. And even if they never do business with us, how can we give someone an experience of what it feels like to be loved and cared about?
Even the haters, right? Even the, you know, the detractors or whatever. It's like, how do you respond to that, right? With love and compassion?
Haters are just confused lovers. You know
right, exactly. There you go. Love it. That's your quote for the month, right? We'll put it underneath. Exactly. Haters are confused lovers. Love it.
You know what is funny, JP? Because it's a joke, but sometimes it's true. Like, people will, I don't know, they'll say something shitty to me on Instagram or on one of my YouTube videos or whatever, and then like 6 months later they'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, like I was in my own stuff and I projected this onto you, and I'm like, there we go, cool, we're all learning, let's go.
I didn't do anything, I just let it roll. That's right. I didn't even block you, so you could come back and say that. That's right.
Exactly. Oh my God, I love it.
That's
it's
right.
So funny.
Great. Oh, I can't believe that we're almost on the time here. What else would you like to share? I mean, we talked about all the areas of build, of course, but what else would you like to share that you haven't yet to our listeners out there today?
I believe that there is a very powerful mission inside of each of us. Like, there is a gift inside of each of us that we get to extract and bring into the world. And the question always is, who do I need to be in order to bring that forth? Like, that inspired idea that you have is there for you. It's there for you. I was driving from LA back to San Diego in 2018, and literally I got quiet enough to hear the voice that said, you need to teach the world to breathe. And I felt this inspired idea of like, oh my gosh, this would be so amazing if we did all these things and created these products and all of this kind of stuff. And there was a part of me that doubted it. Like, who am I to do this? It's already been done, all of that kind of stuff. But if I listened to that voice and I didn't really go into the unknown where all of the magic exists, then I would not be able to create what Pause is today. And so really trust your hunches, trust that divine intelligence, and trust that you have everything it takes in order to bring your visions into fruition.
Amazing. And just curious, like, how far along were you in your credentials and experience of breath work when you had that intuition, that inspiration, that divine intervention, call it what you will? Were you already kind of in that space as a leader, or were you just entering into it, or how does that kind
so
of
I was doing breath work for probably about 7 years before I wanted to build my own brand. So I was a student of breath work, and I took a lot of different certifications on the market, and I just realized this work is so powerful and needs to be in the world. And that was the moment that I was like, okay, it's time to go.
Right, gotcha. So you had the background, you had that experience, and then divinity said, hey, make it yours, like take over the world.
Yeah, it was like, you're the one, go ahead. And it's beautiful now because I'm not the only one now. I have this amazing 50-person team, and we all are in service of this greater mission, and it's really quite profound. It's really quite beautiful.
Right. Speaking of which, how can people best get a hold of you and enter into your world and get that, I don't know, swag or personal phone call, or at least feel cared about, right? And when they enter your community, how can they get connected?
Definitely. Well, we set up a promo code for our app for your community. So it's pause.app/build, BUILD.
You got it. That's right. Yeah, you can spell build. Yay.
Yay. So for those of you who feel curious about experiencing breathwork, maybe you don't know what breathwork is. Maybe you've meditated and you're like, this doesn't work for me, but I want the benefits of meditation. Definitely try breathwork. It is super powerful. So that's pause.app/build. Pause Breathwork is where you can read all about us, and on Instagram, Pause Breathwork as well. I'm Samantha Skelly on Instagram. If you want to come say hi, I would love to meet you over there as well.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate you and all you are doing so much. And thank all of you.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you. And thank all of you for joining us as well. For more great resources to help you improve your best self and take things to the next level, including free worksheets and downloads, you can make sure to check out thebuildframework.com. That's it for this episode. I'm JP. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.